Our next story is also about big dreams, a dream boys just about everywhere share, but seems particularly acute in Africa. Becoming a world-class footballer, playing on a brightly lit European pitch, your name emblazoned on the back of a jersey, like idols Didier Drogba, Sadio Mane, or Mohamed Salah. What you do not imagine is being trafficked to a foreign country and struggling to survive. Every year, thousands of aspiring African players are duped, exploited, and even abused as they try to land spots on professional teams abroad. Abdul Gafar Deeko from Ghana is one of them.
Abdul Gafar's life looks very different from what he once imagined. As a child in Ghana, he dreamed of becoming a professional football player.
Every player in Africa goal is to come to Europe and play.
But he was abandoned by so-called agents after being taken abroad. Many young African footballers are moved around with the same dream, often in exchange for thousands of euros. These agents hope to cash in on the dreams of young boys who see football as a chance at a better life.
There's so much corruption in the system. They come with sweet mud. And you know, footballers, you are suffering in Africa, you don't have good things in Africa. If an agent comes, says, okay, this is the situation, I'm taking you to Europe, you do.
His agent had his player pass, meaning he owned him and controlled his moves in football. For his first move, he was given a fake invitation to a club in Tanzania.
He took two of us, one striker and one midfielder. We got arrested for something we didn't even know. It's like child trafficking, you know.
His agent then secured a transit visa and fake papers, allowing him 6 months at a second division club in Ethiopia. Later, he learned the visa wasn't valid, and since he was there illegally, he had to pay a hefty fine.
I had to stay there 4 years to be able to pay all this money before I left.
Abdul Gafar's agent was arrested, but he stayed silent because he still needed his help.
I protected him. I'm like, he didn't know, so that's why things like this happen.
A new agent proposed an opportunity with a club in Ukraine, and Abdul Gafar jumped at the chance to move to Europe.
It's funny, because I thought I was going to play direct contract.
But instead of playing and getting paid by the club, he was asked to pay for the cost of his room and board.
I didn't earn anything. It's either you go back or you play for free, then you get some videos, you get some connections, Europe, then you can move.
He was able to come to Berlin, Germany through a personal connection. He hoped to find a professional club, but it was much harder than he expected. Now he has a job, a family, and plays on Sundays with other Africans, many of whom share similar experiences in football.
I found out that it's not easy in Germany when you are not from here. They are like, hey, you're good, but it will be difficult because you are black. Now I'm working, I'm a painter, and at the same time, I'm working with kids, teaching because I've passed through a lot. It's really, really important for the young ones to know that it's not just, as they say, it has side stories as well.
A hard-learned lesson he hopes other young aspiring football players in Africa will learn from.
I'd like to welcome now Oluwashina Okeleji. He's a sports journalist based in Lagos, Nigeria. Shina, welcome to DW News Africa.
Thanks, Michael.
There are reports estimating some 15,000 young African men are trafficked every year to Europe alone under false promises of professional contracts. What are the common tactics these traffickers use to hook these men and their families?
I think it's a chance, and of course, telling them that the family can be taken out of poverty by just leaving Africa for Europe. The potential of becoming a professional footballer, you'll be able to take your family out. They promise everything. They tell them all the sweet things that they need to hear. You know, they give them examples of notable African names like Didier Drogba, Samuel Eto'o, Anthony Yeboah, you know, major stars of the past who actually went from Africa to Europe and managed to take their family out of poverty. So any family in Africa hearing that, they will quickly turn to those people and, of course, listen to what they have to say.
There's an implication in what you're saying, I suppose, that there's a level of desperation here. Some of the same things that drive people to emigrate from one country to another apply here?
Absolutely, and it's very easy to see because people are living in poor condition, and of course they understand that the only way out could be in that child, could also be, for a child who obviously probably lacked education. The family concept in Africa is that for any parent or for any family to change, one person can change the entire story in the family.
Let's talk about these scammers, as you put it, the role that they play, the local and international actors here. Who are the main predators? Are they local agents, club officials, international syndicates, and do they work in concert together?
In terms of my investigation into this kind of how this thing works, first, the ones locally capitalize on the fact that these players or their parents lack the knowledge and the know-how on how to, discover a scam when you see one. But the ones abroad, they are just sitting down there thinking, you know what, if they can send me money to probably give them the fake invitation letter, which is to go out there to come to Europe, or if they also invest heavily in my lies, I can actually make quick bucks. So it's a general thing. It's not just a local thing. They also need the backing of some people close to this family, because somebody has to come to the family to say, you know what, he's done it for A, he can do it for your child. He's done it for B, he can do it. And then for the international ones, it's even much more difficult for the family to figure it out, because they'll believe anything that is coming from outside of the continent of Africa.
So what happens to these men once they realize the promises made to them are false and that those dreams, in fact, will never come true?
They're completely shattered. Many of them. I know a guy who was taken to Italy, and then he ended up in France. He was abandoned by these agents because there was absolutely nothing. He came by sea to get himself to Europe, only to find out that this guy has abandoned and left him to his fate. And most of them are, abused badly. Most of them are abused. Some of them they're just taken and passed around by individuals who capitalize on the fact that they are vulnerable. They have nowhere to go. They have
Are you talking about sexually here?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we've had people who also end up becoming something else, a young mole for drug dealers somewhere in southern France and all of those places. It's not just a France issue. We've had some in Italy, some in Spain as well.
Given the scale of this exploitation, what reasonable steps can African football associations, governments, or bodies like FIFA take to protect young players and hold bad actors accountable?
Interestingly, there's been a great move by FIFA since 2022 to ensure that, first and foremost, if an agent comes to you asking you for money, flag that. And not just FIFA, there is FIFPro, the Players Union, Global Players Union body, who are also educating not just association, young talent across the globe, not just an African issue now, a globe, telling you that you need to understand that no agent, first and foremost, will demand money from you. That's why there's an agent exam where agents are also told what to do and what not to do. You can easily find out, you can separate scammers from true agents, because they have an exam to write themselves. And you, as a young player, you can't listen to anyone who's asking you for money, because for an agent to actually believe in you, he needs to invest himself and his money in you, because you are the one that will return the money back to him. So that's the first one. And also, FIFA ensure that no player leaving Africa or anywhere in the world is not lodged on the transfer system. On the FIFA transfer system, a trial form has to be filled that will ensure that there is information spreading about certain players. So if you are going to travel and no one has presented to you a trial form for you to fill, or a proper document showing that the club will be responsible for your accommodation, insurance, medical, and everything, then that's how to spot a scam. So FIFA, on their own part, has done so much, as well as the confederations. Players need to be protected, and we've seen a reduction in some of those cases.
Oluwashina Okeleji, our deep thanks.